Well, dramatic as always in the past 2 years, very dramatic things occurring this week. And after my last show, I had some in the comments, and this is not the first time, I had somebody asking me, we have to hear Caroline Glick, we have to get her on. So I agree with that because I happen to know Caroline Glick for almost 40 years now. It's been a very long time. When she was a student at Columbia University, and I was there as part of the Israeli government at that time. And she was as brilliant and as amazing back then as she is today. So I gave her a call and I asked her, Caroline, can you come on? Well, she's caught up with the Prime Minister and it's not clear when she does have time. And suddenly this morning she said to me, hey, there's a day off in the Prime Minister's office, so I have some free time. So I said, you have to come here to the JNS and we have to talk to you. Caroline Glick, thank you very much for being with us here.
It's a pleasure to be with you, and I hope I've had a little bit of a learning curve since I was 18. But
you teach everybody. We had these dramatic things, a lot of things that people who supporters of Israel and supporters of Netanyahu and supporters of Trump are very concerned. And I think there's no better voice, and especially somebody being there in the midst of things and being with the Prime Minister and being with Trump. What can you tell us about what's happening, what is developing now? You told me you were optimistic. How do you feel about it?
I think, it's not just optimism. I think I have profound faith in the Prime Minister and Prime Minister Netanyahu, and profound faith in the people of Israel, and particularly our soldiers, because, we're winning. We've won. The Hamas is pleading for the end of the war because we've destroyed them largely as a military organization and as a regime, and they want a respite. And so the deal basically that's on the table says to them, give up all the hostages, disarm, we'll let you leave Gaza. We're not leaving Gaza. We're remaining in over 50% of the territory. And Gaza is not going to be a threat to Israel in the future. In other words, the deal enables Israel to achieve all of our war goals, and allows Hamas to achieve none of their war goals. So I don't believe that we would have gotten here. I know we wouldn't have gotten here if it hadn't been for the past 2 years, if it hadn't been for the Prime Minister's leadership, if it hadn't been for the heroism of our forces, if it hadn't been for the stiff upper lip of the Israeli people who have gone through hell and back again and then back, and never lost faith and never in any way moved away from our objective of winning this war, because we all know that we're fighting for our survival. So I think that we've reached a denouement, and it's a good place to be, because if they act in a manner in accordance with the deal, then we win. And if they don't, then we win. I mean, it's exactly what the Prime Minister said at the White House. He said that it can either go the easy way or the hard way, but one way or another, it's going to go. And so the question is just how does Hamas want this to play out? And right now, as the Prime Minister said last night in his announcement, we're pretty hopeful that we'll see the hostages home during the Sukkot holiday that we begin tomorrow.
So when Israelis, I can understand the concern, especially people on the right wing, for years were concerned because when we did sign agreements, when we did have international commitments and promises, not only did they not always fulfill the commitments, I'm not even talking about the Arabs, I'm talking about the guarantors, United States, Europe, but things have changed here, especially in the attitude of the Prime Minister. And he's mentioned this, and I keep telling people, look at how things have been different, especially in the past year. When Netanyahu says something, he follows through, and we expect to uphold, and the government of the United States, I understand that Trump is the same, that they are going to uphold and make sure that they fulfill their parts of the agreement.
I think that that's absolutely true. I mean, I know that it's absolutely true. We have war goals. They were determined at the outset of the war, right after October 7th, that we're going to destroy Hamas as a military organization and as a regime. We're not going to allow Gaza to ever be a threat to Israel in the future. And the hostages are all going to come home alive and dead. And those remain the objectives, and we're achieving them. So I think that you're absolutely right. We haven't swerved one iota from these war goals, and we're continuing and maintaining course to getting them. And I think that When you look at the details of this agreement, that's what they do. The overriding security control over Gaza is going to remain in Israel's hands. So, there's going to be an international force of foreign countries, but they're going to be behind IDF forces, and we're going to be holding the ground. So I don't foresee a problem with that.
Well, I'm glad that you have that. I won't even call it optimism. It's practicality. And I think the Prime Minister is very practical with his understandings, and Trump certainly is very practical about it. Everybody's talking about him wanting to get the Oslo...
The Nobel Prize.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
Richly deserved, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I doubt that they'll give it to him. They'll probably give it to UNESCO before they give it to him, as we know them. But that's not what's directing him, or certainly not the Prime Minister.
No, what directs both of them is a basic understanding that we find in the Bible, that you get peace by being strong. And I think that the Jewish people in general, the people of Israel in particular, have shown undaunted strength and courage over the past 2 years. And that's why the likelihood of peace being achieved in one way or another is much higher than it was in the past, because I don't think that there's anybody in our neighborhood who questions, even for a moment, that the Israeli people are up to the challenge and that we're not going anywhere. I think I saw a commentator say a couple of days ago, and it really struck me as correct. I wish I could give credit. I can't remember who has said it, but all along there was a sense that Israel couldn't withstand long wars. And yes, we can. And we are. And the people who are breaking are our enemies, whether in Iran or in Lebanon, Syria, the Houthis, or in Gaza. And so everywhere you turn, you see that, no, actually, we're not happy with what we've had to, with the prices that we've had to pay in this war. Everyone who we've lost is an entire world in and of itself. And all of us know people, and all of us know people who have been on the front lines of this war in Gaza and Lebanon and beyond. And it's something very personal for every single one of us. But yeah, we're standing and will stand for as long necessary, because we understand, particularly after October 7th, that this is a war for our survival.
And 2 years later, we're much better today than we were even the day before October 7th.
Much better.
Much better. Caroline Glick, thank you. An advisor to Prime Minister Netanyahu these days. I forgot to mention that.
It's okay.
Thank you very much for being with us and sharing. And I hope it calms the concern of a lot of Israel supporters. If Caroline says it, it has to be true. She's always been on top of things. Chag Sameach. Thank you very much.
Shana Tova. And let's just keep it up. The stronger we are, the more peace we get.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.